Hi everyone, in this video we're going to cover headers in HTML. The purpose of a header is to bring emphasis to certain text. This could be a page title or a section subtitle. Okay, let's begin. As usual, I have my Hello World HTML page here, and let's open it up in Notepad++, my editor of choice. And right now I just have a title and a hello world in the body. I am going to leave this here so you can see what a normal size text looks like and how it compares as we add the header text. Header text comes in 6 sizes. It ranges from 1 to 6. The lower the number, the bigger the text will be. So we'll start with 1 first. I'm going to add it right below. And the header text is just the H and then 1. And then this is where my text will go, and it will also need a closing tag. Oops. Okay, let's save this and see what this looks like in Chrome. Okay, I'm not going to zoom in this time as I normally would, just to give you a sense of how big things are when you see them in normal size. So this is our hello world text up here, and this is our header 1. And the default size, you can see it's fairly much bigger than the normal text. You may also be wondering why header 1 is down here on its own line, and that's because headers are what's called block containers, meaning they take up the entire row of the page. So as you add text before or after it, it won't be in the same row. It'll fall below or above it. We'll go over containers, block containers, and inline containers later on, but just know that header text will always occupy one row. And you'll see as we go forward. I'm going to add an H2 tag now, and this will be slightly smaller than H1. And close it. Save, refresh, and you can see it starts to get smaller. And as it goes from header 1 to header 6, you'll see that it gets smaller and smaller. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to just save this and refresh. As you can see, as we go up in number, the text actually gets smaller, and header 4, 5, and 6 are equal or smaller than our normal text up here. So that may beg the question, why even use it if it's smaller, when its purpose is to call attention or bring emphasis to the text. And there's a reason for that. There's this whole industry called SEO, or search engine optimization, where people that own websites or people that are working for websites try to get their sites found in search engines like Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever. And the idea is, when you surround important text with these header tags, it's telling the search engines that this text is important, this is what the page is about, so you should show it in your search results. I'll give you an example. Let's say my site is about cars. So I'm gonna change my page header to world's fastest cars. And now when I publish this, when the search engine crawler comes and looks at my site, they're gonna see, okay, the title of my page is world's fastest cars. This is the title of my page. It must be pretty important. So it's gonna assume that my site is about cars, and it's gonna rank my page accordingly when someone searches for cars or even fastest cars. Of course, search engines don't only use that as their ranking criteria. There's a whole bunch of other things it looks for. A lot of things we don't even know and can only guess, but that's why there's a whole business and a big industry in trying to get websites to rank high on these search engines. So even though headers 4, 5, and 6 doesn't visually bring emphasis to the text, it is good for search engine optimization, and it's still useful in some cases. Later on, when we get into style sheets, we can see how we can change the styles, the default styles of H1 and H2 and H3 and all of these, so they look better, so they don't have this default Times Roman text, and we can make them any size we want. Actually, it doesn't have to be this big. It can be bigger or it can be smaller, but still be surrounded by the H1 and H2, 3 and so forth. So that's it for headers. It's pretty straightforward. There isn't much to it. Originally, it was designed to be used for page titles and paragraph subtitles, but with the advent of CSS and the popularity of it, there isn't much use for it visually. It's now more of a search engine optimization utility, and I recommend you still use it just to keep up with best practices. And that's it. There's not much else I can say about header tags. Well, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them in the comments below, and please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, keep coding.